Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Trap Team Core Inversion Locke.
Talk to Flynn.
Thanks for that, Eon. That wasn't disruptive at all. So yes, one very interesting thing about Eon's quote-unquote hint right there is that you guys can't see it for the most part because it's obscured by the view of Question of the Day, which I changed the location of what was planned because I told you in that debut episode, which has since gone live between the two sessions I've recorded here. So thank you so much for the incredible response to that first episode. But getting right back on track, that Question of the Day was originally meant to be at the very bottom of the gameplay portion, but I've decided to move it to the very right of me over here instead, so that then it's not blocking the health bar, because in a lock, being able to bear witness to the health bar 24/7 is quite crucial, and it's what creates most of the tension throughout locks, because whenever a Skylander is defeated in lock, they are classed as dead and can't be used again. But that, of course, isn't the only traditional lock rule that we're going with here, because whenever an element swaps out, I must swap to one of the 16 Skylanders Trap Team cores that correspond to that element, no question is asked, and I cannot swap again until the element of the area changes once more. And below me, above the cast of characters in this core inversion lock, is quite self-explanatory. I invert the colours and have the cast of 16 cores from Trap Team. But yeah, what's directly above that cast, as I was alluding to previously, are the power-ups. So I have an Earth Orb, which I can place into the portal at any time I please in order to place Thistle Sprout until his timer is fully used up. Then I also have the Horn Blast Whirlwind upgrade, which basically allows me to summon in this magnificent character right here in co-op, so I can heal up my character between combat scenarios should I need it. And our last power-up is the One-Up Mushroom, which revives as one of my defeated Skylanders. But yeah, I ended off last session with a present right here, and as you guys can see, huge continuity issues that this present is God. It's nowhere to be seen, and that's because some idiot, which may or may not be me, forgot to press the record button for this here episode, so I'm having to re-record all of this. But the main thing of note is that I opened up that present and used it to level up Torch, who also has a bunch more upgrades than she did previously, and you guys will see that once I swap out for Torch in the next episode, kind of alluding to a specific area that I'm purposely going to be triggering. But for now, I have to press the options button and actually select the level manually, which, yes, that means that unfortunately we won't have any Pinchy to speak to between the levels, and that is a big sad. It's very unfortunate, I know that much, because the Pinchy may or may not be the best NPC in this game. He isn't. I'm just saying all of this for comedic effect and all. But we're not going to press the skip button, despite the fact that it is the best button in this game, because this, my friends, is no deep stew.
Game creep must already be messing with the clock.
Oh no, that's big no-no.
Just a permanently bright time.
That too, big no-no. That is pretty confusing for time. The whole idea of the fabric of time and the universe just collapsing and imploding, you know, spontaneous combustion, which seems to be Charles Darwin, I believe his name is, his favourite phrase and all. You know, I have a favourite phrase, as I digress, the phrase I haven't seen things used in every single video, and Charles Darwin has his, of spontaneous combustion. So imagine time in and of itself, spontaneously combustion. Not only would that be confusing, as Flynn is alluding to right here, but it would be highly inconvenient. Also, ships don't fly like that, but then again, it's Skylanders. They just took logic and physics and threw it out the window immediately.
Well, I mean, of course, it was always personal.
Oh, I'll tell you what is personal though, Flynn. Skipping your deep stew, because your deep stew is not the greatest. It's a bit of a jibber-jabbering, you could say. But the Pinchy's deep stew, on the other hand, it is the finest, you know. He's French, so his deep stew has to taste delicious. I mean, in Ratatouille, it was said that despite popular belief, France more specifically, has the best food in the world, and that's because it's called the food capital of the world with good reason, right? So if Ratatouille said it, it has to be true. There's no other, there's no possibility even that that could be anything but the truth. It's almost as if Ratatouille swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that's exactly what we got with the final product. Therefore, making France, despite any sort of other belief, having the best food on the planet. I mean, I haven't been to France personally, so I can't verify that, but I suppose that's one of the main reasons to check it out. But hey, Italy invented the for pasta and lasagna, and then India has for curry, so naturally it can't be too bad either. I suppose any country beginning with an I automatically has great food, because Indian and Italian are two of my favourite foods to go out there, along with Mexican. Actually, I'm a big fan of Mexico. Mexico in general, not only do they have great food, but they have the great culture and the great scars to reflect that culture, such as Fiesta himself, which I'm sure Future Editing Ignite will put in the edit now that I've brought it up. I am so sorry, Future Editing Ignite, you're doing a good job. Yeah, he probably hates me now. Anyway, it's time for the debut of High Five right here, the final core of this here core Inversion Locke to finally debut. So I know what you're thinking, it's about time. That's mainly because it really is. So yes, now every single trap team core has been played with at least once in this core Inversion Locke, and it's funny how I showed High Five to camera because sometimes I do remember to show off the cores during the debut, and other times not so much. Also, I have no idea why I chose High Five when the element of the area is air. I suppose I was getting a little ahead of myself because I do know for a fact that life pops up later on. That and also, you know, inverted colours are very confusing. Like, you can't really differentiate the symbols for the element. I'm doing this look mostly based on memory, and apparently my memory did not serve me well right then. Because actually being able to physically notice the elements is much harder. As I said, they have no distinguishment to the symbols, they're all the same colour and all, with these inverted colours. Could I have said colours any more in that single sentence of mine right there? You know, that's the most uses of colours I've heard in a single sentence like ever, so you know, I suppose you could just give me that world record already. Anyways, it's time for a nice rhythm to be going along right now, because I tell you what, the rhythm of these things are really cool. The fact that it synchronises in with music quite well, it just makes it rather quite harmonious and really, really fun all the same, at least to listen to, mind you. And again, what else would you do besides listen to it? It's sound, you can't exactly see sound waves unless it's, you know, a Transformers character who you physically can see because he's a Transformers character. Okay, boom, let's be symbolising these things. But hey, I'm using the literal Aladdin cloth, so, you know, might as well be intertextual this episode. Clearly, Flingkong here is being as such. Oh, Flingkong, sorry, not Flinking. Maybe I did call him Flingkong, and I just thought I called him Flinking, or my mind is playing tricks on me. You know, it would be the first time for today. Also, I am dying. I should probably stop doing that. This is easy level. I should not be dying. Ah! This is getting a little too close to comfort right here. Woo! Giving myself shivers right here. Also, Flingkong, were you moonwalking right there? Who even knew that magic carpet could even moonwalk? But yeah, one really interesting thing about Soundwave is that, first of all, he definitely cannot moonwalk like Flingkong's carpet can. That carpet is so glitched just to make a difference. Anyway, we'll be grabbing that food right there quite happily, in fact. Yes, Trap Team is officially broken, and anyone who wants any further proof of that can just direct themselves to this very clip right here. Anyway, between sessions I've been collecting Winged Sapphires to make upgrades to characters like Torch a whole lot easier, and that includes Winged Sapphire that I collected at the top of that there segment during the run which shall not be named. Mostly not named because it no longer exists since the gameplay was never captured. I mean, I might use it for some out of context edits towards the end of the series perhaps, but we will see about all that. But how about further ado, it's time for High Five's more official debut now that the element of the area is actually live. Why could it be this time round I forgot to hit the record button? Why don't it have to be, you know, the first time round that I forgot to hit the record button too? I suppose I forgot to hit the record button out of dread because this episode is most likely going to be the first where we use the character to say the least. Anyway, it's time for me to do the move that you absolutely should never do with High Five, and that is the tertiary attack button, because whilst that is the best button in the video game for skipping unnecessary deep stew, well, it isn't, however, it's the best button in the game for keeping High Five alive. Anyway, going back to Soundwave, what I find really interesting about that Decepticon is the fact that he is one of the only Decepticons that has remained loyal to Megatron in every incarnation of the character, him and Shockwave, so apparently, you know, Megatron lusts for more waves that are, you know, loyal to his cause and to him, because Soundwave and Shockwave, like I say, they are the only two Decepticons to have never attempted to dethrone Megatron in any of their incarnations. That just shows their blind loyalty to the Decepticon cause, I suppose. And there are also a lot of characters throughout continuities that change their sides, like Jetfire was originally a Decepticon, or Skyfire is called in certain iterations. Then there's also Drift, who changed sides, and even Starscream, he was originally an Autobot at one point. So yeah, no wonder why Starscream is always trying to dethrone Megatron. His arrogance becomes his main downfall. Also, we are going to be grabbing that pancake stack right there. You know, pancakes are delicious and all, even with inverted colours and making look a little mouldy. But speaking of mouldy, this definitely highlights the danger of High-Five's poison pellets right here. They look so much more dangerous with the green mist to them, so to say. Okay, time for some speed for in. Oh, boom baby, we grab some food that we didn't need, but we will take that still, what we're saying. Also, get out of that sticky fly combination. Yeah, I like the fact that you can dash through the clouds and then power them up, but what I don't like is that you can press the dash button once and then for some reason it does it twice. You know, it's so easy to accidentally misjudge your inputs for this character because there's such a great amount of lag. Anyway, you guys kind of saw a snippet of my controller earlier. I really should keep this in shot more often so that you guys can see that this gameplay truly is mine and that it is being performed live. This isn't no pre-recorded crap. And neither is it me just taking the gameplay of someone else and just inverting the colours for it. Youch! 69 damage. Nice. Anyway, moving on from all that, man, these inverted colours crazy. That guy's purple right there. Okay, sweet, all those guys are done for, and High-Five has survived because this was our final combat scenario of the life area, and I'm gonna bring my controller back out of view again because holding it like this is just more of a comfortable position, which is why you guys don't see me doing this all that often because it's simply put not as comfortable. But anyway, for Last of Us Part 2, because some controller is, you know, made several appearances this video, it has in prior episodes as well, and that's because I've been alluding to up until this moment for time to speak about Last of Us 2 specifically. And I suppose the perfect time for that is now. I mean, I already talked about it in the episode that once again literally physically cannot be named for it no longer exists after I forgot to record or capture the gameplay even. And speaking of gameplay, it's time to swap out for some of the Fling King's gameplay. Fling Kong, will I ever stop doing that? No, because it's very funny. Anyway, you can tell it's a new session from my closet change alone. But yeah, finally, Last of Us, it's about time, or more specifically for sequel, which disappoints me just because the first one is one of my favourite games of all time. And you know what made the first one special? Character development. Some creative liberties in their storytelling. It took what could have been a generic errand story and multiplies it through its utilization of character and relationship development to craft just layered dimensional characters. And what does Last of Us Part 2 give us? Absolutely none of that. The developers of Naughty Dog, that game, they were absolute troll authors. They took characters that we knew wanted to live and characters that they knew we'd hate to start off with. And you know, kind of like force you to do things you'd be uncomfortable with. Because here's the thing, you know, with Last of Us Part 2, there are buttons you don't want to press and yet you're kind of forced to press them in order to advance with the game. That's a very trolling nature to Naughty Dog. Like, surely they want us to want to play the game, but because of the natural distastefulness from the story, it just becomes less and less fun to play through because all it is really is a revenge plot, and there's nothing more sophisticated to it than that. You know, Joel is killed far too early with such little time dedicated towards actually playing with the character. We play with him for 5 minutes in the beginning, and that is basically it, which is beyond disappointing for a character we spent an entire game with, fleshing out and getting to know and love. So yeah, making the story so generic from there and pulling off that early is just ultimately so disappointing because when it came to Last of Us Part 2, what I was most excited for with the sequel was finally getting to play with these characters that were so beloved again, and we got none of that. I mean, Naughty Dog definitely made it competently because I said already about how the game looks beautiful and the sound immersion is beyond anything I've ever seen before. With headphones in, you can truly hear your surroundings and it makes everything around you feel so tangible and it creates immersion just beyond belief. It is honestly the most immersive game I've ever played. When I was playing it, I actually forgot I was playing a video game at points. This was just so lifelike in its animations and its sound effects and all. So there's no denying it's a competently made game. It just goes in directions that Last of Us fans don't really appreciate, you know, Naughty Dog had a misunderstanding of what the fans were looking for from a sequel, which is ultimately the most disappointing part of all. It's not so disappointing, however, it is the best button of video game coming in handy right now. Boom, baby. Bringing in frisbees right there. Yeah, I believe that there isn't actually any cutscenes that we completely skipped over. So basically, so long as I select these levels and remember to not skip the cutscenes by total accident, I won't need to insert any in the edit, which I'm sure future editing guy would appreciate. So that is why, hands off, no skip button for me, despite its glory. Now I do have some deep stew boxes at the bottom right now, but we're still going to watch this cutscene because I feel like it. Plus Chaos calls Wolfgang the Dog, which is pretty fun. Your time is up! Yeah, nobody can watch Invader Sim the same way. You just imagine Chaos's big head. Because of course Invader Sim is voiced by the same person. Actually, Chaos's voice actor, not that I can remember the name of him, has a lot of credits to his name. Wow, that is what we call timing right now.
On second thought, if the Queen wants Skylanders, she can have it.
Hey, the deep stew boxes are gone, therefore this is totally cutscene, which probably isn't the word, but it is that because I said so. Ta-ta! What a very English thing of you to say. Which of course I appreciate that because I myself am English and I probably said that far too quickly for anyone to possibly comprehend what I'm saying, but I'm not going to stop doing none of that. But yes, as you can tell, I did indeed pick up a few collectibles along the way, and you know, all of those collectibles haven't been picked up, have been lost to the gods of forgetfulness, most notably for those gods staring upon me, making me forget to hit the capture in game button. You know, this is a pretty big important button, so me forgetting it entirely is quite depressing, and more depressing yet is the fact that I could speak to the binge to initiate this level, so instead we have ourselves an option screen which is far less exciting, to be perfectly honest. But here we are. I do like the look of the loading screen, however, all the inverted colours, it somewhat look more futuristic-y, which again probably isn't word, but it's now because I said so. Death Star ripoff! I repeat, Death Star ripoff, even though I am not pointing at it, but Death Star ripoff all the same. Yeah, is that really such a bad thing? Like, he's giving everyone free concerts. Most people would copyright the heck out of that. Not to mention, all he's doing is blowing stuff up. Surely there's no harm in that. Oh boy, he damaged science equipment. Big deal. And that guy's a nerd, so his glasses deserve to be shattered. That's not confusing at all. Yeah, Da Vinci, just get a few brain cells and you realise how lack of confusionness that is, which I just confused myself by just saying a lack of confusionness because once again that is not a word, or at least it wasn't implemented, so... They might be, but that's not going to stop me from skipping this deep stew right here. I love skipping some deep stew, my favourite activity in this game, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of favourite activities of mine in this game. Okay, the Earth element is about to pop up and I'm not about to accidentally place onto the portal the wrong element altogether because I'm placing onto the portal to this bump, who is indeed an Earth Skylander. At least last time I checked it was. You know, he does have Earth plastered all over him when I summon him in, so I think calling him an Earth Skylander is a correct assumption to be made, even though assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Boom, baby. He's too good. There might be ice cream over there, but we don't need it. So it's time to take the future cab for taxi tomorrow today. Hey, what do you know? Clearly me and that guy alike are both salesmen, or great salesmen more specifically. Why, you're welcome, though I do kind of wish that with you being in the future and all, you had much faster service. Like, you'd think taxis 10,000 years into the future had some sort of speed behind them, but, you know, they go 2 miles per hour, which is slower than our current taxis, mind you. And even for radios, they're old-fashioned. It's almost like it's a, you know, retro type thing, maintained the test of time. And sure, they have a futuristic outstations to them, but that's about it. But hey, I suppose Skylanders' retro, nostalgic look of the world is reflecting that of ours because, you know, we have a lot of 80s nostalgia. There are TV shows and, like, cafes and restaurants that all sell themselves based on your 80s nostalgia. You know, stuff like Stranger Things, which is set in 1980s, for one main reason. Hits right nostalgic beats. I can't insult Stranger Things too much, it'd be dishonouring my grandma who loves the show. Okay, I'm going to be grabbing every last bit of that gold right here because this one actually seems to need it. He's one of my few goals that is fully leveled up. And also, speaking of this one, looks like I have to think this order of playing this in a little while longer because the only area here is Villa, which as always means we don't have to swap out. Well, we have no physical way of swapping out because there are no characters here to represent this for the moment. Hey, it could be worse. This could be the Skylanders Trap Team Trackmaster Soul Link where I had to play as Gusto for effectively the entire level. Then again, it's not like Gusto's a bad character. Likewise with Fistbump over here, who's absolutely just clobbering these guys right here, which I suppose is an appropriate reference to be made because, you know, he's made up of rocks just like the Thing from Fantastic Four, who also has that funny phrase right then, right there even, it's clobbering time. I think this guy wants to die right here. Also, 69 health. It was nice for the short amount of time that I had it for, but you know, now we've moved on from that health bar, which is quite unfortunate to say the least. Like, was having 69 health, or at the end of my health bar more specifically, too much to ask? Apparently it was. Ouch. I mean, I meant to poke that, you know, sometimes things just don't work out now, do they? Oh, hi there, fella. How are you today? I mean, you sort of ask how my back, which is just you with him. You know, it gives me incentive and motivation to kill this guy even more. Like, seriously, if I didn't want to kill this guy before, he didn't ask how my day was, which makes me want to, it makes me want to kill him even more, even. Sweet! Okay, let's do this. Okay, watch out for a blast patrol, don't want to get, you know, too hurt by him, sort of thing. And him shielding my attacks is not much appreciated at all. Luckily, he just seems to be circling around right here, completely forgetting the attack button because get to play the video game, he did not. Fistbump is just too good for his liking. I suppose, you know, he became blinded by pure exposure to raw awesomeness. For Resistance, this totally is a Star Wars rip-off 100,000 million%, and that's a big percentage right there. You know, as a percentage that you didn't even know was possible, and yet that's the same kind of theme as Star Wars, because it could be possible, who knows? Yeah, you know, alien life out there, could be some sort of wars upon the stars that we just don't know about, because we're too feeble and naive for these alien species to give a crap about us. Just look at us and be like, ha, they're too stupid for our intergalactic empire, just leave them be. I mean, I would like to think that there are aliens out there, you know, it'd be very sad if we are the only life in the entirety of existence, knowing how big and expansive space is. You know, I would like to think, and I would like that hope that there's more to life out there.
Let's get moving before more of those grabbers grab us.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Anyway, let's be hopping on over here. Thanks to the likes of the jump button, which is a very important button, especially once we move into the Wolfgang boss fight, which is likely where our first loss will be, which is where the dread this level really kicks it into high gear. Speaking of high gear, Tread had quite a appropriate swap off, bearing in mind the commentary I just made right now. Anyway, let's finish these dudes off, shall we? Yes, I remember how to do the ramp move. Anyway, what I find hilarious about these guys is that their attacks don't actually initiate until after they've gone over this ramp part over here. So if you defeat them whilst they walk over from the ramp, then they have no chance to stop their attack cycle. Oh man, Credit is just a beast period. Until he does remind me a lot of Drobot, you know, with the afterburners and all. Like this right here. I mean, they don't carry as momentum like Drobot's afterburners do, which therefore makes Drobot's afterburners much better. But still, they remind me of him all the same when I have no concept about whatsoever. After all, he is not only the best Dragon Skylander, but the third best Skylander overall. But hey, many things remind me of Drobot, even Soundwave, but as far as I'm concerned, Soundwave was an intentional reference, well, Drobot was an intentional reference to Soundwave even, you know, it has to be the way around, considering that Soundwave has stood for far longer than Drobot has, because Drobot has similar phrases to that of sound waves, such as when he says Drobot superior, enemies inferior, or something along those lines. And then he also has a very robotic voice in a traditional sense. Again, same as Soundwave, so I mentioned him earlier in the video, and I suppose I'm looping back around to do that again. Yeah, Stuntman for the win over here, let's go. I mean, let's try not to die in the Atom Splash on this, because I have never died here, at least not by accident. The only time I killed myself in here was purposeful, to see if you actually could die in here. And it turns out you can if you have, if you're enough of an idiot, you know. So we're just not going to do that, because losing Shredhead would not be much fun. It goes against the direct purpose of the Locke, which is to lose as few characters as possible, which thus far I've been very successful about, but I'm going to stop with the arrogance before it winds up getting, you know, every single one of my Skylanders killed at Wolf Gang. Which is quite likely, to be honest. Like when I played this the first time around, I'm not gonna lie, I did lose Backspin, so the aim is to do better this time round. And at least this time I'm a little more prepared for the inverted colours, because for laser segment it was very difficult. The lasers are very distinguishable from the background and such, and it becomes far too chaotic to, you know, even watch. So I suppose, you know, a little bit of a bright lights warnings in play. I forgot the name of the correct warning.
Seems safe enough.
Yeah, seems safe enough. Also seems like a pretty safe thing for me to be conducting right now is pressing off the best button to be skipping off that deep stew right now. Anyway, under the element, let's bring back Backspin and hope for the best with her. Which is the complete opposite of what happened for the episode that shall not be named, or more specifically shall not be watched. Because this time around I am recording the gameplay, at least I hope so. Like if you're watching this right now, then clearly I did in fact remember to record the gameplay this time around. That's kind of a given. Okay, as them guys dealt with, let's try not to get in the face by fist bump. But luckily for us, Backspin has a faster movement speed than fist bump, so she'll have a much better job avoiding these guys right here. Oh man, that was very good, because the more bats you summon for her Bat Tornado, the more range and damage it deals. Oh man, we had to defeat these guys quick, like they don't stand no chances, man. I almost feel sorry for them that I was always on this encounter, does it? How dare you hit me, it's awfully rude, old chap. Okay, sweet, this is going somewhat well, but again, I should shut up before I wind up hitting myself, because, you know, Backspin has an entire boss fight to deal with after this. And I aim not to use the power-ups, like I said before, power-ups are literally only there to fill up space and layout. You know, I want to try and get through this lock with minimal cheating, because power-ups are quote-unquote cheating right now. I'm not sure who said that, but someone most certainly did at some point in time. Oh boy, watch out for the... oh boy, Mega Blast. That's not what we want. The Palatine PTSD. This is getting way too close to put right here. Press for B, go to the video game button! I mean, I can't even hear myself concentrate, let alone speak, because the game volume is way too loud in my headphones right now, but I don't, you know, I don't want to run that risk of lowering the volume from my headset, because the chances are I do such a thing, and the Blastatron will hit me when I least expect it. But whew, the get good of a video game button was indeed pressed, and I successfully made it through that scenario. But man, where are the healing bats when I need them? I need healing bats! Do your job and heal me, you useless fools. Oh wow, that was quite an interesting segment of defense, shall we go as far to say. What's a little less interesting, however, is the fact that these bats still aren't healing me. Come on bats, do your job. You literally have one job, now do it right and heal me. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's a specific condition to spawn beauty bats, but, you know, don't quote me on that. I'm not too familiar with this character, although she is best of free-to-lay characters, that's for sure. Kind of ironic how my favourite three I know nothing about, but yeah, I would continue to attempt to heal myself up, but A, this seems to be working, and B, I'm impatient, so we're just gonna skip the deep stew and head out for my doom without further ado. I mean, of course it was pretty fast, you know, it takes very little time for me to hit the skip the deep stew button. Yeah, that's right, its name has been extended to the best button in video games that skips for all of the deep stew. Skips? Never heard the term used, never heard the term skeeps used in that context before, but here we are. Oh no, I looked away from the screen. It's honestly a miracle that I didn't die. Because, you know, Trap Team has a lot of stupid in it. So much stupid in the fact that, you know, if you look away for nanoseconds and you're almost likely to die. That's just how Trap Team goes. Now, why are we waiting for this thing to finish opening up before we shoot? Like, can you imagine Luke Skywalker just waiting to blow up the Death Star for a time that was convenient for the enemies rather than just doing it immediately? Like, seriously, the enemies sure aren't convenient for us, so why would it be inconvenient for them? Okay, there we go, we're gonna finish that guy off, and his final powerful directives going night-night. Oh yes, my favourite thing to deliver to the bad guys there, night-night time. Oh, you're past your bedtime, little Jimmy. Time for you to be blown up, because that's a very efficient way of sending someone to sleep now, isn't it? Especially little Jimmys right there. Don't know why I'm nicknaming the little power conduits little Jimmys, but here we are, me doing it anyway. Great, I now have a Wolfgang to deal with and deep stews to be skipping. Yeah, it's a pretty big concert, right? One thing I want to know is how the heck did this guy even conquer Skylanders 10,000 years in the future? Surely there were more futuristic, more powerful Skylanders available in this timeline to take him down. It would make more sense for him to go back in time to before Skylanders existed, even though before Skylanders existed was Archean times, and so I doubt Wolfgang will be able to overcome those either. I mean, they're giant autonomous beings, and he has, what, a heart? So yeah, Wolfgang just isn't conquering type, apparently. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Yeah, I look forward to addressing this major plot hole. You know, it's going to be one long setup for a punchline in for the second to last episode of the series. Now it's time for me to finally turn the video game volume down now that I have a time that is convenient to do so. Also, healing, that is also what we call convenient seconds when we find this. Now, can we have some more out, please? Oh boy, where's the Crypt King when you need him? No, seriously, where is Crypt King when you need him? He's only like one of the most stupid broken characters in this game, and I love him. Although Baxter is also pretty good and pretty stupid broken as well, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's kind of funny. 3 of the 4 undead stars in this game can heal themselves. The undead characters in this game have the best healing abilities of any of the elements, and I just find that ironic considering they are of the undead element, and yet they're experts at healing. You can see where that opposition comes in. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'd rather not, you know, getting hit is not part of my agenda right now. Even though I did it anyway, which is what we call unfortunate. Okay, come on healer, let's come and clutch right here because getting through this unscathed would be virtually a miracle. So I say that because I'm recording this here second session on Friday, 6th of November, that means that I actually managed to upload 2 Top 10 Thursdays on time twice in a row, which is a miracle in and of itself. So I have no idea what that means that, you know, I'm on a miracle streak, or whether my miracles are all used up. Either way, we're about to find out. Oh boy, big ouch! How did that hitbox hit me? Oh, that's a lot of utilization of the word hit in a single sentence. Oh boy. Crypt King, where are you? I need you right now. Okay, you guys are about to see why the lasers are as hard as they are. Oh boy, you can barely even tell them apart, and I barely have enough health to tank some of these hits. Boy, that was a close one. Oh, I felt that. Here we go, watch out for the big boy lasers. There you go, that's what I like to see. Oh boy, run. Ah, no, 10 health. This is likely the end of the backspin right here. If we do not die right here, it'll be the literal clutch for century. Oh boy, giant lasers that I could barely frickin' see. There you go, this is what I like to see. It's made even harder by the red wolf gangs in the background, and it's just far too chaotic right on the screen. I can't possibly look except the fact that I have to, because closing my eyes will definitely solidify that spin's doing right here. Please don't hit me. Oh, thank you laser, I appreciate it. So now I need to deal with both Wolfgang and the lasers, which is easier said than I'm not crying, you're crying. Well, there it is, folks. The first death of the series. It was, as Thanos put it, inevitable. Or more specifically, death itself taking possession of me here, saying, I am inevitable. Because death itself is a physical thing, and has that power to possess me, to say those exact words right there. That's just how death works, I suppose. So yes, let's plot backspin upon the death to signify that she is unfortunately our first loss of the series. The best of the three Slay characters, they've worst named with the lots, saying goodbye and signing off for the last time. For now, she is not only defeated, but she is also dead. Also, thank you to Mixability Frames, but also Wolfgang's trajectory there made no sense, because why I got hit right there. I'm just going to blame, you know, trajectory on that one. Ouch. Ouch, that time it was my bones fault. Come on, let's not lose the second undead Skylander. That would not be ideal. Okay, here we go, this is not looking too bad. Oh boy, I take it back, it's looking bad, it's looking bad, it's looking bad. Ah! Luckily I didn't forget where the jump button is on my controller, so that's working out quite good for me right here. Oh, heal me. Don't do anything else besides healing me. Oh boy. Ow, no, 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 oh, no, funny bone, oh, no, big sad, big, very big, big sad, oh. Okay, who do we bring in? Let's go with Echo. She's had such little screen time in this series so far, so we might as well bring her back to make some noise. But man, I'm so upset about that. Oh, and like I said in my original playthrough, Backspin was our only, was Wolfgang's only victim. So coming back here because I've got to press record button and losing two characters because of it, it's just painful. And I'm about to lose Echo as well. Oh, never mind. We got him. But man, I'm so sorry I lost both my undead Skylanders at Wolfgang because I'm bad at the video game. Right after we had some amazing clutches up to this point, I go on ahead and do the complete opposite and get utterly humiliated right there. Oh, I'm so upset. What a depressing way to end off the episode. And Funny Bone was so cute and innocent too. Oh. Well, we're still sitting pretty at least. We have 14 characters left to complete the last 6 levels with, or is it 7? I don't know, I can't math. I'm too busy, you know, crying to worry about math right now. But hey, we will be checking out the next level of this here Locke in the next episode. And until the moment rises, peace.